What is up, guys, and welcome to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video. I recently did a video on the top 10 characters to Zeta overall in the game. We're talking about the best characters of Zeta, hands down, no matter what, legendary, hero's journey, stuff like that. This video is going to be on the top 10, of course, plus 5 honorable mention, characters that are free to play farmable to Zeta in the game. They're available in nodes. They're able to be Zeta'd and work at star levels that may not have to be 7 stars and stuff like that. These are in no particular order, and of course this is all based upon my opinion. I want to know your opinion as well. If you feel a little differently, or if there's a character in there that should be in there that isn't, please let me know. Obviously Finn has fallen off this list since his Zeta rework. It still is good, but not like it has been. So without further ado, let's get started again in no particular order. First, we're going to go with the top 10 overall. Number 1 is Asajj Ventress, and again, when we're going over these characters, we're going over both of their abilities, both of their Zetas in one. Otherwise, you know, I wouldn't want to take 2 spots up with Asajj's leadership and Rampage. But her number 1 ability, in my opinion, is actually Rampage. Some people might disagree, but I'm just going to read the Zeta aspect. 75% turn meter gain chance, plus 5% offense, 5% critical chance, and when an ally or an enemy is defeated, Asajj gains 5% max health until the end of the encounter. This can really add up over time. The more enemies she kills, especially with Night Sisters, the more allies that die, she's going to be gaining offense. She's really fun to use in the tank raid, and a great character overall. I just recently got her to gear 12. I should have earlier, and her leadership ability is pretty good as well, but I think her Rampage ability is more important. Probably the first one to Zeta. Next, let's take a look at Chief Chirpa. Yes, Ewoks can be fun. They have a purpose, especially for getting 3PO, and they can beat some of the meta teams if you have them modded correctly. His simple tactics leadership ability. The Zeta simply states whenever an Ewok ally uses a special ability, 60% chance to call another random Ewok ally to assist. You're able to call in a bunch of assists, which is nice, which is going to be able to increase damage, which is a problem with Ewoks, and they can gather up turn meter and go so many times before the other team goes that it's extremely helpful, and they're a good squad to have. Next, Kylo Ren Unmasked. Many people are mad at me that I did not include him on the main Zeta list, but I just don't find First Order powerful enough. They're not a faction you go, wow, I need to avoid that faction. They're not the Jedi Knight Revan or the Darth Revan or the Palpatines, any of that. And both of his Zetas are important. I think his leadership is the most important. It really, really helps the First Order overall. I'm actually going to read the whole ability. First Order allies have plus 40% critical damage and plus 30 speed. When a First Order ally scores a critical hit, they gain 20% turn meter. When a First Order ally gains a status effect, they recover 5% health and 5% protection. They're gaining extra critical damage. They're gaining extra speed and turn meter in the ability to recover health and protection. That is an extremely important ability overall, and it really takes the First Order to the next level. Some people still argue Phasma is good. I don't think I don't think so. And then Scarred, he taunts at the beginning of the battle. That's pretty much there. Next, one of the newer characters of the game that I think is so fun to use and was recently required for Darth Malak, and is, like I said, fun to use. Please start farming him right away for those characters, and it is Carth Onasi and his leadership ability. I don't have it Zeta'd, but after I get Darth Malak's second Zeta, this is going to be maybe the next Zeta after that, and hit Soldier of the Old Republic. Whenever an enemy is inflicted with damage over time, affect all Old Republic allies, recover 3% health and protection. When you're using him with Mission, with Zalbar, with Canderous, there's going to be so much damage over time thrown around that there's going to be a lot of health and protection being recovered as well. It's just going to be a very helpful ability, and there are a few teams that I think could be dominant, and there are already, especially in Grand Arena. And I'm waiting to use him in the Sith raid with a Vader lead because of the extra damage he can do to damage over time and damaged over time enemies. Next, in my opinion, the most important Zeta for the Phoenix faction, it is Kanan Jarrus. I don't have him Zeta'd, but it is an unbelievable Zeta. Phoenix is still a great faction for beginners. They're needed to get Thrawn, obviously, and the ships that they're needed for the Ghost and the Phantom, which gets the Chimera as well. This gives the Phoenix a Dispel, which was something they were missing. Dispel all debuffs on Phoenix allies and grant them defense up for 3 turns. Grant cannon and target ally foresight for 2 turns. And when each of these foresights expire, Cannon gains 100% turn meter and other Phoenix allies gain 50% turn meter. So we're gaining turn meter, and it's the Dispel. It's the Dispel that's huge, because before this happened, before the Zetas came out, they really struggled with that. And he really makes this list because he makes a Phoenix team viable in all aspects of the game. Grand, obviously not in Arena, but they can be useful in Grand Arena, in Territory Wars as well. There's usually an area you see that have Phoenix in it. Next, a character that I'm definitely going to be farming more and more, Vander Chewbacca. And this is an absolute amazing ability right here, the Ferocious Protector ability, which states whenever another light side ally scoundrel is defeated, revive that ally at 60% health. If Chewbacca is prepared, then Chewbacca is no longer prepared. You run this with Mission and Zalbar, which we can talk about a little later, and they're more scoundrels. When they die, they revive. Okay, and you're going to run them with Kira as well. You're going to run them with other characters that give them a bunch of health and protection and make them more survivable. It's a nightmare defensive team. This is an unbelievable ability, one that I can't... As you can see, I only have him at 3 stars. I'm slowly farming him and Snowtrooper up to 7 stars. They're like the only 2 characters I have left to really get up there and use them in the... Grand Arena, Territory Wars, and stuff like that. It's a great ability, trust me. With a Kira lead, or even without a Kira lead. I've seen it a few times with a Clone Wars Chewbacca lead, or a no leader whatsoever, just with Vandor, a Mission, Zalbar, Nest, whatever. Great ability, definitely consider it. Next, we're going to look at Nest. If I was going to give a number to each character on this list in the Zeta rankings, I would probably put Nest. Why? Because you can farm her. Yes, she's hard to farm, but guess what? She's viable at 3 stars even. It's her fighting instinct. Add taunt, ignore, add 2% health steal stacking when enemy loses buff or debuff. The ability to ignore a taunt is huge. Huge. It's absolutely huge because you're able to go around the taunt, take out an enemy that has just a little bit of health left. And it's going to, with some of these abilities she has, she's also able to dispel taunts and go in foresights and stuff like that. So that's absolutely amazing the way it is. And I mean, she's a great character overall. Definitely, and that makes it that much better because she's going to become more survivable, and she's survivable the way it is. Definitely farm Nest, guys. She's the Tusken Wampa, as I call her, and the ability to give mass days is amazing as well. So next we have General Veers, one of my favorite characters again. I really want to get all of my Imperial Troopers to gear 12. Snowtrooper can do so much damage, and like I said, Range Trooper soon. It's his aggressive tactician ability. It's kind of a leadership ability that's not in a leadership slot. It says recover 10% protection whenever an enemy is defeated, plus 20% offense up chance and 60% turn meter gain chance. So you're recovering protection, gaining more turn meter, potentially gaining offense. It's extremely helpful. Imperial Troopers are so much fun to use because if you use them against the right teams, the battles can be over in seconds, literally. And when you get a Range Trooper in there now, it's even easier to take out Night Sisters because they were a great counter to Night Sisters. Then they started to struggle some, especially in 3v3. Range Trooper helps tremendously. Please consider Veers not only for that, for territory battles as well. He's going to help you get more stars, which equals more guild event currency, which equals more Hermit Yoda, Wampa, Darth Malak, shards, or anything else you're looking for. So make sure you do that. Next is probably one that's pretty controversial. You may disagree with me, but she has been part of metas of the past and is still a great character. She really took a downfall in about December 2017 when Jedi Training Rey, or Rey Jedi Training, came out and was able to inflict permanent heal block. It is Barriss Offee, and it's her swift recovery. Whenever an ally is critically hit, they recover 20% of their max health. Man, you ran this with a General Kenobi lead. Nobody would ever take any damage, ever. JTR fixed that. But still, throwing it into a lineup with certain characters when you're facing a team that is doing a lot of damage, this can help tremendously. She's still on this list because she's still viable, and maybe she'll get a rework soon when the Clone Wars characters get a rework. We know Anakin, Ahsoka, and General Kenobi are. I hope Mace gets a rework. I hope we get a few more Jedi from that period, and Padme and stuff like that. So she's still on the list, though, because that ability is very good, and she's a healer besides that. Then, last but not least, this guy's on the top 10 list because he's my favorite character, potentially in the Star Wars universe, and this ability hits so hard. I also think you can maybe work him into a Jedi team with Bastila or Jedi Knight Revan that's going to be able to take out the Darth Revan Malak combo. Still got some testing to do with that to figure it out, but it's his Flourish ability. It gains 50% damage, plus 25% turn meter gain, and he gains defense up for 2 turns. This extra damage is just wonderful because it dispels as well, and it's so much fun to use in Phase 2 of the Heroic Sith Raid when you do it right, especially if you're going in facing Scion with under 50% health, where Yoda's constantly going to be spreading defense penetration up. You're going to be using this ability, and it's just going to be hitting so hard. It's so much fun. I love him. I can't wait to find a use for him in some lineups that will counter some of these Sith lineups as well. Now on to the honorable mention. Again, some of these could have easily been switched into the regular top 10, but I had to make a distinction somewhere. Number 1 is Kira. Her ability is not necessary for her to be great because her leadership ability doesn't require a Zeta, and it's good the way it is. But her insult to injury ability, plus 5% potency in other scoundrel allies, also gain half potency and critical damage bonuses. So she's spreading some of her stats to the other allies, which helps very much like R2. And in that case, when you can make your scoundrel stronger, which is why I hope they bring Hondo Onaka to the game sometime, maybe give another leader, make another powerful character. But she is, in my opinion, a character that you should be going after and potentially thinking of the Zeta. Mission is next. Her and Zalbar were really hard to keep out of the top 10 in general. I just didn't want to put them together in there because that would have taken 2 spots. It's the me and Big Z forever. Once per turn, mission assists when Zalbar uses an ability. You're doing so much more damage because when Zalbar goes, mission is going to assist. So think about that. And it doesn't say in here dealing 50% less damage or something like that. She's just going to assist, and that's amazing. Can really help take down enemies. And then next on the list is obviously then Zalbar. I got him up there to get Darth Malak, and his ability Mission's Guardian states that at the start of each of his turns, Zalbar and Mission recover 10% protection for each damage over time effect on enemies. You put these guys with a team that spread a lot of damage over time, and then like I said, throw Vandar Chewbacca in there where they can recover when they die. A very good duo, and I think an underrated duo. Maybe they're not as underrated anymore as they used to be, but definitely deserve a spot on this list and definitely need to be farmed because they're needed for many events the way it is. Next on the list is the original Kylo Ren, who was on the top 10 Zeta list for who knows how long, and it is his Outrage ability that 15% damage and recover protection equal to the damage dealt. If you have him modded correctly, he can deal a lot of damage, and he's going to be constantly recovering that protection. There were times in the game where he was so hard to take out, it was frustrating. It was extremely frustrating, and he is still on this because if you're going to run a good First Order team, you want to have the Kylo Ren Unmasked Leadership Zeta, and then you definitely want to have this Kylo Ren or Zeta as well, and it's going to be pretty hard to beat on defense. And then last but not least, Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum. Why? Because of the cooldown and the damage that she gets. It is her Whirlwind ability. It's so much fun to use. Cooldown -1. The target can't evade the attack and has minus 50% armor against this attack. Really, you want to get her into a team. Like if you use her with Grandmaster Yoda and a bunch of buffs get spread, she's going to be getting so many buffs to use. When she uses this Whirlwind, she can knock enemies out so quickly, especially when modded correctly. So she's on here for damage, and she's really fun to use as well. There's one character I struggled with. There were a few, but one that really made me struggle keeping off the list, and maybe you can give me your opinion on it, is Savage Opress. His ability, he's able to always cleanse and regain some health and protection. That's a great ability as well. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think about the list there? The top 10 plus the 5 honorable mention. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? I want you to put in the comment section what characters I should have put on there that I didn't. I know I've had Maul on there in the past. He's just not useful anymore. These characters are, you know, kind of helping define. Squad Arena, in my opinion, is still the most important part of the game. that allows you to get the most crystals. But they're adding other aspects of the game that are a lot of fun, that are helping broaden the game as well. And these characters are going to help you do very, very well in those areas of the game, because with Squad Arena, you have one team that's really good. These allow you to have quite a few teams that can be decent to good to great teams that hold off many other teams and help you take first in Grand Arena and win in Territory Wars as well. So again, let me know what characters you think I missed. Let me know if you agree with me. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please smash the subscribe button, like the video, click the notification bell so you can be alerted to all videos that I post. I'm also leaving a link to my Discord server and Patreon page in the description below. Make sure you check that out. That would be very helpful. And again, leave comments in the comment section, not only about what I asked, about what you think about these free-to-play Zetas, but also video ideas. There's a great video idea that somebody gave me the other day about Palpatine teams that can be countering some of the new meta, and that's a great video idea, but it might not happen now with the new change to Malik, which completely changes the whole dynamic of running a Palpatine team when they can no longer gain turn meter, which will be made for another video. But again, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Otherwise, peace out, and may the Force be with you.